Hi, everyone. It's the second session. It's Tuesday, the 31st of August, the last day of the month of August, the last day of Women's Month. And it's not the last day of just celebrating. So we're just doing a check-in wherever you are. Just tell us how you are. How is your day? How has been your day? For us, we're just juggling the different roles that we've been going through. So I'd like to ask Edina, how are you? You don't have to show your video. You can just tell us how are you? How is your day?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Edina, Mashudu's younger sister. My day was very interesting. I started a small business today, so I've been planning to wanted to do it, but I've been discouraging myself every day. But today I decided to say, you know what? Since it's Women's Month, it's the last day of Women's Month, let me try and do this and see how it goes. I don't have to lose anything. So I've started a quota business, and I sold only 2 quotas today, but it was very interesting. Like, it was very lovely. Like, I'm very excited. I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait to go see that fresh air and meet people and talk to people. And I've been on the internet trying to think of what I'm going to do for my customers. It's just been very interesting, and I've just have a lot of ideas that are coming through, and I hate myself for not starting this earlier. I think this is going to be a success. So that was my day. Today I started my business that I've been prolonging for the last 4 months, but I did it today, and I'm so happy, even though I only sold 2 items, but I'm very grateful that I was able to wake up and go and do this. So tomorrow I'm going with new energy, new force, and see how it goes.
Wow. Edina, go for it, girl. Don't look back.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
I would love to see your face though, but I'm not going to put pressure on you.
No, not now. I've been preparing. I've been preparing supper, so I'm not done. So I've been trying to juggle this, balancing everything.
The life of a woman right there.
Yes.
But
Okay,
well done
thank
and
you.
congratulations. In fact, there's a lady that I know, her name is Tumi. She runs an organization also for women. And the purpose and principle of it is about starting. That is the whole thing, just getting you over that starting line. And I just heard that and I thought that's amazing, that she's paying attention to how difficult it is for a woman to start a business. So yeah, so that's amazing. Well done.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And Charity, how are you today?
I'm fine. Afternoon, everyone. I had one of those crazy days at work, one of those ones that we don't actually want to go to work. But at least I survived that, and I came back home. I went running with my son and the dog, my 4-month-old puppy. So now I'm tired. I took a shower now. I'm about to sleep. I'm not a night person, so I sleep very early and I wake up very early. At least I'm back to on the road again. I can run now. It's winter is gone. At least I can get back and be fit again for a change. This COVID is making us fat.
Thank you for sharing that. Sister, how are you?
So I am busy in my mind. I can actually hear my mind just ticking over. I've got so much to do, and I'm coming from such a busy month in August, and here I am on the very 31st. So first of all, I would like to just acknowledge you, Mashudu, for having had these meetings with the phenomenal women. So where am I coming from? So my mom passed away, so we laid her to rest on the 7th of August. So, and I had to travel home, come back, catch up with some work. So I think I'm coming from that. I'm coming from a very surreal, busy, grief-stricken at times. I think it hits me every now and again, because my dad also passed away about 6 months ago. So every now and again, now it almost seems like both of them, it just dawns on me that both of them have passed away. So yeah, so that's how I'm checking in. I'm trying to catch up with work. I'm trying to catch up with ministry. And every day feels like it's like my weeks feel like it's Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday. Every week is like 2 days. What has happened to the week? So that's how I'm checking in today. It's been quite a roller coaster in August.
And condolences to your family and
Thank you.
And to you. And
Thank you.
I've observed you how you still carried on throughout. How have you done it?
By my faith, I really have a strong faith in God. I'm also a minister, so you'll get to hear about that today. So as we do that, the interesting thing is that, you know, you pass condolences to someone, but when you're walking the path yourself, it's different. You know, you're looking for those scriptures, like, you know, that consoles you and comforts you. So that is really what has pulled one through to be able to still come in and do work and continue. And I think people are looking at us, and we're looking at others who've been grief-stricken, who've lost family, friends, parents, children during this COVID-19 and this pandemic. And my secret, my pillar, my foundation has been my faith in God. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I would say faith has been one of the key themes that has been coming throughout the conversation that I've had through this month. Is so amazing how God, because we are God and God is within us, how we always make sure that we put him first.
Absolutely. And how have you been? How are you checking in?
Me, it has been quite a roller coaster day, but I'm excited. I had a sick child yesterday. Today, when I checked him, he's smiling much better than yesterday. He's excited. So I'll also catch up with him after this chat. And yeah, being a mother, juggling work, being a mother, this initiative that I'm doing, even today, I know it's the 31st. How I did it, I don't know. It's the grace of God. It indeed happened. And I believe everyone received the message that they were meant to hear from the conversations. And if you missed out, go to my YouTube, Mashudu Mbhele. You'll be able to get the other messages. My next question to you, I know we've got short time with you because you've got another engagement that shows how busy we are. We are serving different people. It's what is your key message to us, and tell us about you. What do you do within that key message?
Yeah, so I think I wear 3 main hats in life. One as a mother, one in the marketplace, and one in ministry. And I think mother first, ministry second, and marketplace third. So in terms of a mom, I've got 2 kids. And I think that is my most humbling and most difficult role. I have been in very hectic corporate roles, but I think motherhood is showing me the most flames. In terms of, I have a teenage boy, and I just am like going through, rolling with the punches every day. So motherhood is exciting, it is amazing, but it's also humbling in terms of, you know, what one is required to do as we steward the destiny of our children. And then the second one is ministry. Ministry, I lead the Purpose Inspired Foundation and ministry. And I also lead the International Marketplace Summit. So Purpose Inspired ministry started about 21 years ago, where I'm ministering. And I think generally as what you would know a pastor does. However, I don't lead a church, so I have a ministry. And then I also, the International Marketplace Summit is to minister to people specifically in the marketplace. And what that means is typically you would find in a church on a Sunday, 95% of the people listening to the pastor's message do not operate in the church, they operate in the marketplace. About 5% probably will become pastors and prophets, apostles, teachers, and evangelists. But the 95%, we have 9 to 5 jobs, Monday to Saturday. So the International Marketplace ministry is about ministering to people who are supposed to give expression to their gifts and talents in a marketplace environment. So I'm very excited about that ministry because for the longest time I've been there. I've been going to business school and Bible school and business school and Bible school. So I've been to various business schools and I've been to various Bible schools, whether internationally and locally. And I've just found that my life pattern and my purpose has worked out that way. So that has been very exciting. It is the most amazing thing to find what God has created you to do. Most fulfilling, most stretching, most difficult, most challenging, but absolutely the best ever. I wouldn't change it for anything. So that's in terms of ministry. And then marketplace. So what do I do in terms of the marketplace? I also run and I'm executive director for Crystal Consulting, which is an HR consultancy, and we do HR consulting, training, facilitation for organizations, for corporations. And then last but not least, CEO for Way. I enjoy absolutely, for those who don't know me, Prudence Mocumi, I lead the Women Emancipate Yourself movement. It is a movement because my vision is for women to come alongside and we partner on each other's journeys to destiny. Whatever women has been called to do, my leaning is that we would empower and enable them to come here at Way to check into the sisterhood and community of women and to be able to go out there and do your business, do life, do family, do marriage, do ministry, do entrepreneurship, but we have a place where we can come together. So that is all the different hats that I wear. And I've done work with women, again, from about 2000, I formally registered the first foundation called the Women of Vision Community Foundation. And yeah, here I am 21 years later now leading Way, which has been a wonderful opportunity. So it's just absolutely in my blood. So those are the different hats that I wear.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And on this, I just saw we've got Sharon who has joined and something just clicked, and then I need to introduce her to you, even off this platform, because
wonderful.
What you stand for is what she stands for, because she's part of MSS, and you'll be so amazed about the wonderful work that she's doing. So I'll make sure that
wonderful.
I
look forward to that.
Your details so that you can connect. So what is your message to us on this last?
So my message to women is for women to understand the power of a woman. You know, we often, Women's Month, I think Women's Month is a testimony to the power of women. It's a testimony to what women are able to achieve collectively. It's a testimony to what women can achieve as individuals. And I think the women who marched on the Union buildings all those years ago decided they had to make a decision in terms of what they wanted to achieve. And when we read the story, there may be women that were leading, and we know that the names of the women that were leading that march. But what we also get to understand is that each individual woman had to leave her home that morning. And what I find these days is that sometimes we commit to something and we don't follow through. So imagine if those women had sat in a room, 10 of them sat in a room, and they decided, okay, this is what we're going to do for women's rights, which are human rights. But on the day, most of them did not turn up. So I think one of the things that I would say to women is we need to show up. It is one thing to have the conversation. It's one thing to have the strategy. But if you don't show up, a lot of things don't get done. Whether it's in ministry, the marketplace, in your business, in your home, in your family, a lot of things can go astray. And whether it's from our children, our marriages, a lot of things can happen because we don't show up, because we're not present. So for me, that is one of the first things that I would like to leave with women. And I remember many, many years ago when I was in high school, actually, that story is just coming up for me. So when I was in high school, we were just fed up with the education system, and we decided that's it. Tomorrow, when the teacher walks in, we're just doing a protest. We're just marching out. And we were talking about it. And the next day, the teacher came in and was like, okay, in lesson, whatever it was, lesson 5, lesson 6, when she just gets in, we're going out and we're going to march right to the education department in town. And we are laying a protest and our complaints. Imagine that for high school children at the time. And the next day, she showed up, and I think we were about 10 students who were now going to do this march out. And I remember as the moment came, your heart was clearly pounding. You were thinking, oh my God, like, are we really doing this? And she was a very scary teacher, the one that we chose the lesson to walk out. And when the time came, I got up, I looked around, where are my people? They were looking around like, okay, you go. And I walked out. And it was like, where are you going? And lo and behold, from the 10, only 3 followed. So now we were finding ourselves in this compromising position, but we just kept walking. I remember going out the gate of the school when we're not allowed, walking down the road, walking all the way to town, walking into the education department. And as young students, I left school when I was 17, I think, yeah, 16, 17. And that was not even in my matric year. And having to do that. And what I learned from that is when I've put my mind to do something, just get on with it, because if I'm waiting for others to join me and to stay true to the course, it might not happen. So that is what I would like to say to women today. We need to show up. We need to be committed to the cause. And the theme for 2021 International Women's Day was choose to challenge. So we have to challenge the systems. We have to challenge the paradigms. We have to challenge the stereotypes. We have to challenge the things that are going on in corporations where women are experiencing the glass ceiling. We have statistics that says to us that women in the JSE, about 300 and odd JSE listed companies, we know that women are about 43.8% of the working population, but they are not even 5% of CEOs. So there's something wrong with that system, and we need to choose to challenge it. But if we challenge it, we need to be counted on. We need to show up. We need to have the right conversations. We need to understand that if I'm not going to fight this fight for women, it's not going to happen. So really for me, and the fighting most of the time is the conversation. It is actually sitting at the table, having your voice heard, supporting the conversation, contributing to the conversation, and making sure that whatever you have to say about the cause, you are present. You have done your homework, you have done your research, and you stand by your point. So that is my message to women, to show up and to really make sure that when we are committing, that we are showing up. Like, I'm part of the collective. I understand the importance of this issue. I can attest to the fact that in some of the corporations where I worked, some people died for me to be there. Some people paid the price for me to be there. And sometimes we forget that the price that was paid was blood. We think it was policies. We think it was, some strategies. We think it's some B documents. It was much more than that. Some people paid in blood. So I really, that is my message to women.
Thank you so much for that. I see Sharon says challenging the status quo should be our war as women of today's era. That's
wow. Absolutely, Sharon. I am with you there.
And before you leave, what is the plan for WAY for the month?
So I've got quite a few things that I think we can do for WAY. And let me just speak again a little bit about what are some of the values of WAY. So just for those who do not know. So first of all is the sisterhood. So one of the things that I did in terms of when I started was to go from, WAY was a foundation before, and it was, I came in and I decided that it must be a movement. And the reason why it must be a movement is because everybody has an opportunity to come into WAY and find a place and space where they can make a contribution. So this coming to the sisterhood, coming to join a community of women was very important. I lead in the way that I'm saying to every woman, God has given you a purpose and there's a plan for your life. So don't be intimidated. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't look for what Prudence is going to do. I'm looking for what each and every woman is going to do in WAY. Now, on the platform, we have more than 1,100 women, and you all may have been, if you've been around, you would have seen that we had our 10th anniversary a couple of years ago, about 18 months ago. So, and in that, I'm saying every woman has a role to play. It is not going to be about what is Mashudu doing, what is Prudence doing. It's about what is Charity doing, what is Adina doing, and what is Sharon doing. So come and be part of the sisterhood. And it means that we mustn't walk alone. When I'm going through the trials of life, like I just explained to you, my parents died within 6 months of one another. Who do I speak to about that? When I'm having a meltdown, my business closed down as a result of COVID, where do I go with all that mental stress and all the anxieties that I'm going through? When somebody's house is repossessed, what do they do about that? So the way is part of that sisterhood where you can come to check in and be part of it. So that's one of the values, the sisterhood. Then another value is about checking in, really checking in with people. So I know I've been part of many, many organizations, and especially when it becomes part of an NPO, people sit back and see, I want to see what they are going to do, and they criticize from the pews. Now, I am really not one for that. So when you are going to criticize from the pews, come and be counted. Come and see how difficult it is to get things done. Don't complain from the pew. So I'm saying check in with who you are, your skills, your talents, your gifts, whatever it is. I want to see, imagine the power of 1,100 women coming to contribute at WAY. And what does that contribution look like? If we can all just contribute 1 hour a year towards WAY. So me as an HR practitioner or as a minister of the gospel, if I come here and I give 1 hour a year and all of us do that, we've got 52 weeks in a year and all of us come with our skills. You come as a transformational coach, I come as HR or a pastor, somebody else come as something else. If we all do 1 hour, we would have 1,100 hours of empowering women on this platform. So that is really my heart. Instead of calling people to come and talk to us, where it is 3 or 4 rock stars coming to speak to us, there are phenomenal women. And I think you've been speaking to them. And I've been watching some of those conversations like, wow, 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 wow. So that is my heart, that 1,100 hours can be given. Now, I know not every woman is engaged and active on WAY, and that is another challenge that we have. Where are the women? Why are we here? But when we are asking for a comment, asking a question, nobody is responding. We have like less than 10 women responding. So women, that's again, I'm coming back to my introductory point, show up. We know even in corporates, I'm in the marketplace, I deal with these stats as a human capital practitioner. 60% of employees in the workplace are disengaged. 60% are disengaged, but they're getting a salary every month and they are disengaged. So I would like you to be engaged here at WAY. Come and let us have the conversations, and let's come and let's have the conferences. Let's have the workshops. Let's have the places where we can check in, where women can be solutions to other women. The answers are here. I'm telling you, if we post every day, ladies, this is my problem, I can almost 100% say there will be a woman who does that for a living. So that is again my heart, that we would come and give that hour a year. And you see, I'm breaking it down to the lowest denomination because I don't want anybody to be overwhelmed. I don't want anybody to carry the burden of let's see what WAY is going to do. We all are WAY together. So that is one of the other things, to really check into that, and how can we bring solutions, be solutions to women. We're not sitting back and saying, can somebody do something for me? The name of WAY is so significant. Women, emancipate yourself. Now in corporations, you know, in our corporate jobs, they will do training, corporate training, you will go on development programs, but if that person does not decide to apply that learning, they are not going to be women, emancipate yourself already. So that is why I love the name of WAY, because it really explains. I've seen it I've been in HR for more than 20 years. I've seen it over and over and over again, that you can do whatever you do for a person, but if they don't decide to get up and move forward, there's nothing you can do for them. So that is another thing, that in terms of how do you show up, is women, emancipate yourself. So those are the key messages that I would like to give, and that is how I'd like us to work at WAY. Those are some of our values, and if we can check into those values and be true to those values, we can have the most amazing and most dynamic experiences here at WAY all together, because the answers are here. The women that we're looking for are here. The businesses are here. We enterprise together. We are looking for, our first leaning should be, if I'm going to buy something, is there a woman on this platform that sells that thing? Why am I going to buy it from somebody else and let women-owned businesses close down every day? Oh my goodness, Mashudu, don't even let me start on this point. I've triggered myself now. So you're going to have another session where you're just going to interview me just on that one point, because I've gone down a place, I've triggered myself. You see, I triggered myself, you know, as a coach, what that means. So I've triggered myself, so I'm just going to stop right there. So that is my message for women. That is what I would like us to do. That is how I'd like us to move forward from where I would want us to come out of this COVID-19, the mindset. Tomorrow's spring day. So you've asked me, what are we trying to do? So, okay. So first of all, what I'd like to ask every woman is on the platform, can you post your nice spring colored pictures tomorrow? So we're all going to wear something nice and, you know, oh my gosh, COVID-19, can we already just shake that feeling? And tomorrow I'm already planning my green, my yellow, my pink, my something. So can we post those pictures? Because I think we've all been going through the most. So we just need so that lightheartedness. So I'm inviting all of you to post your pictures tomorrow, your spring day pictures. So that's one thing. Then on the 25th of September, we are having Spring Fest. So last year we had Spring Fest at the beginning. We are having this year Spring Fest with a heritage twist. So we are combining spring with Heritage Day. And so what you're going to see is we would like you on Heritage Day. Again, we're going to do a conference around Heritage Day with a spring twist, spring with a heritage twist. So that is what you can be looking forward to. So we're looking for some exciting and phenomenal women coming up and joining and partnering with us on that. And then monthly, we had spoken about having sessions, but I always like relevant sessions. I'd rather not say anything and do anything if I don't know that it's relevant. And what that means is people are busy. And so dragging them to conference after conference or meeting after meeting is not really the way that I operate myself. So we want to hear from women, what are the things that are top of mind for you? So these were some of the topics that we had spoken about. And this was what we also want to put out for you to comment on. Which of these do you feel as it's first? So after Spring Fest, we'll use some of these topics in that Spring Fest with the heritage twist. We'll have some of these topics. So what are the topics? And we have done monthly check-ins. So what is it? Mindfulness and gratitude. Oh my goodness, I'm still here. Am I grateful for life or what? So that's one. Topic number 2 is coaching for empowerment and self-mastery. Number 3 was limiting and enabling beliefs. Number 4 was the power of no. No, I'm not doing it anymore. No, I'm not compromising my health anymore. No, I'm not agreeing to things that I'm not really wanting to agree to. So the power of no, I'm looking forward to that one. That is going to be so powerful. The 5th one was mental health. We know that we're going through the most as a nation, the world, the globe, everybody's going through the most. So mental health, mental well-being. Number 6, financial fitness and bouncing back. Obviously, we've had a lot of pressure with our businesses. Imagine my business, if I can just take that example, HR consulting and training. My clients, it just shut down completely. We are not at work. Our staff are not here, and we are our business is trying to survive. So we can't have consulting services in here. And once it was training, it's only now, almost a year later, that they're saying, okay, now do online training, let's do something about it. So I can just imagine what everybody else is going through. So that program was called Financial Fitness and Bouncing Back. And then number 7 is spiritual awakening. Where is your source of power? How did we survive? How are we still here? Number 8 was the influence of social media. As people are posting them on the beaches, you are just having a meltdown of your own. So what is the influence of social media? And at some point I checked out of social media this year. As I was going through the most, I thought, you know what, I can actually not keep up. So let me not keep up. So we're going to talk about this, the influence of social media. And number 9, a big one, burnout. I've dropped the mic right there. Burnout is big. The symptoms of burnout, and I think some of us are actually 50% on burnout, but we just keep going until you have the proper meltdown. So burnout is caused by a whole lot of things. Our bodies will be giving you all manner of signals, whether it, and let me not even go into the topic. I think the professional will talk more about it. But burnout, just from the mental taxation, like mentally going through the most, having your children at home, your spouse at home, everybody is in that confined space, and it is now 400, maybe we are getting to 500 days in lockdown, in whatever level 3, then we go back again, level 4, then we go back again. So we really burn out. We're all dealing with that. So that will be a big one. And then the final topic of the 10, grief. Looking at the stages of grief. because so what I found out for myself is my dad died, my son's father died, my mom died. So as one funeral is rolling into the next, I'm only feeling the pressure of it now. I'm like, and I'm actually like, why now? What has happened? So I'm working through all of that, and I'm just not understanding why it's all dawning on me now. So grief is one of the people are going through the most. I don't know whether there's anyone now who doesn't know a family member or a friend or an acquaintance who have not passed away or was in hospital very ill from COVID-19. So, and not everybody's, even my parents didn't even die of COVID-19. So like people are just going through the most. So grief is one of them. So what we are trying to do with these topics, again, as I said, on the 25th of September, we'll do something with some of these topics in our conference. But during the course of the year, we'll still be, distilling some of the other topics. But what we want you to do is to vote for which of the topics are most relevant so that we start with those ones first. And then finally, the end of year. So every year we used to have an end of year, and this year we want to do the same. I think COVID-19 has now also captured our retreat, because our retreat was going to be just now, August, September. So we want to do a end of year, and this is always how I envisaged it. In the park, having a big picnic, coming out with our family and friends, lying down. And this year, oh my goodness, do we need that fresh air and that sun just to be out there? So that is what I would like us to do this year in terms of our checkout for the end of the year. At the beginning, I think it's in the first weekend in December, we normally do that. If we can have a big picnic, we are out of COVID, and we may not be out of COVID, we may still even be going there with our masks, but the idea is just getting together in an environment that, that obviously upholding all the protocols. So if they say 50 people, that's what it is. But people can then meet in different provinces in the park, just lying down, having a good time, fresh air, the sun, out of our homes, just checking in with one another, having a good time. So that is what we are having planned. That's what we are planning for the end of the year. Mashudu, over to you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I trust everyone who's listening, they're empowered. You can see their programs in place to assist, and those 10 topics, they are quite key to everyone. Even someone who might say, you are saying you haven't experienced grief, we grieve differently. You might have lost that job, or you might have lost a pet or something, or you might be hoping to get a promotion or to get that car. Just that process, you're going through grief, so it comes in different ways, so it will relate to everyone. So thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I know you've got a tight schedule, so guys, so we're still gonna continue now with the conversations. I'm also gonna share what I've learned as well, what is my message to women. But thank you, Sister,
wonderful,
for your time.
Thank you so much, ladies. I'm so sorry that I have to go. I'm ministering right now. And so, so unfortunately I have to go. And next time, I think we'll schedule it in such a way that I'm not ministering afterwards. And I minister on Tuesday evenings. So so I do apologize profusely about that. I would love to have stayed on, but if you can please excuse me. Mashudu, thank you so much. And I think let's capture the inputs of the ladies, and let's put a plan together on how we're going to execute.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ladies. Sharon, Charity, Tabo, Edina. God bless you all. Thanks, Mashudu.
Thank you. So yeah, to everyone just tuned in, it has been quite a phenomenal Women's Month for me, and also just interviewing people from the 1st of August up to now. And I'll say the theme for me has been about starting and also being consistent and showing up. I think that is what came out from me. But I was just asking my other sister, I know the other one, she's here with us, and I was asking Sheila, what is it that I should talk about? And she just said, talk about self-love, because I always talk about that. As much as we have heard what we need to do, it comes back to the person that is who we are and how we show up. Because if we don't love ourselves, we won't be able to show up and be able to fulfill all these different roles, to fulfill our dreams, to to fulfill our goals and be the parent, be the boss, be the mom, be the wife, be the girlfriend, or whatever role you are meant to fulfill. So my message is about self-love. Self-love means loving yourself as God loves you. Because if you know how much God loves you and you know that God is within you, you love yourself. And then someone might say, what do you mean by that? I don't know love. And most of us, we were raised by parents who shows love differently. And you might find that you have been raised by parents who are abusive, and to them, because your parents are the people who are near you, who are guiding you, and if they're abusing you, doing all these funny things to you, you take that self-love. And when you meet someone, when you grow up and you're in a relationship and that person does the same thing, you think that is self-love. But self-love, it means loving yourself, doing things that are meant for you, and always also following your intuition. Because over time, we miss out on this gift that we've been given of following our intuition. It's about falling in love with the oddness of yourself, spending time with yourself, because the person that we spend time with most of the time is us. That person that you look in the mirror, it's us. So I just want to urge you, find love yourself so that you can give it to others. And you'll feel it, because we have been given that gift, something which doesn't resonate with you, you'll feel it. So, and you cannot give what you don't have. So how do you find love? It's also defining what are your values, setting boundaries. What is it that you cannot stand for? And it's about pleasing yourself, being selfful. And it's about taking time for yourself. It's about connecting. We've been, throughout the thread, we've been talking about God. It's coming back to connecting with God and grounding yourself. And when you are not okay, at times you want to delegate that responsibility of someone taking care of you. And we forget that we've got God who can ground us. So I'll normally ask when I do one of my workshops on vision board, when we do the wheel of life in terms of spirituality, what is it that you do when the world has been so unfair, when your kids have been unfair, when your loved one has been unfair? How do you ground yourself and motivate yourself? And what do you do? That's spirituality. So it's about connecting with God. It's about meditating. Meditating is when you hear from God. It's about praying. Praying is when you pray to God. So it's about spending that time and hearing what you have been sent here on earth to do, and hearing those messages that God tells us rather than someone. Because if you continue doing that, you're living someone's life. You forget about the gift that you are. I've been saying in the previous conversation, we are VIPs in this world. And if you don't act like a VIP, everyone just gonna roll over you and you feel like life is unfair. It's about owning your authority. It's about owning yourself and who you are in this world. So that's self-love. And it's also about just taking care of yourself and letting go of things. I know there's trouble here. There's something that I think I always discuss. Like sometimes you find that people are calling you and you can feel it in your heart that you shouldn't answer that call. But if you're someone who's pleasing people, you answer that call, but your sixth sense would have told you not to answer. It's about making that decision of saying, no, I'm not answering that call. I'm not ready mentally, physically, and emotionally to answer that call. It's about being true to yourself. Because even those people that you're trying to please, they don't care. And I said to a dinner the other day, when like in life, you need to rise up. And you might be going through challenges, crying in your bed. No one cares about that. They'll cry for you, and that's it. They'll just send you those messages because we've been taught as society to celebrate when somebody's going through sadness. We send all those messages, but when the person is still okay, thriving, we don't send those messages. So no one is going to save you but yourself. So we need to rise up. And I also shared to my other friend the other day, it was yesterday. So I just saying that we normally get those rest in peace. They flood. And for 2 weeks, everybody will be sending that. But after 2 weeks, everyone is forgotten. It's your family who's impacted. So show up as the best person that you can be so that your family can benefit, so that you can enjoy that. So that is what I wanted to share. So love yourself, spend time with yourself, know who you are, define your values, write your goals. It has been something that has been resonating. Write your goals down, what you want to achieve, have a plan for your life, because no one will you'll be living someone's plans and you'll be saying life has been unfair. And it's also about celebrating. We normally don't celebrate the wins and that we achieve and the successes. It's about writing the gratitude and realizing the abundance that is surrounding us, that God has given us. And it's about making friendship. It's about adding value, also finding your purpose. Because when you find your purpose, you'll be so excited because you'll be exuding that love that people have. And one might ask, I've seen people who love themselves, and I've done it even myself. I remember earlier in my marriage, I'll say to my husband, he's so selfish. And then when I went through my transformation journey, I learned that he's not selfish, he's just loving himself. I had a different definition of love, so it means that I lacked love. So we tend to delegate that love, that responsibility that we have to others. So we need to own up, show up, and define who we are, and ask for guidance when we are struggling. And you might be saying, what do I do? How do I do this? Find a coach, find a mental health practitioner who will assist you, attend courses. And end of September, I'll also be running a workshop. It's a 7-day master class on self-love, because I believe it's something close to my heart. I've been through it. I've done wrongs which I've learned, and I've grown from that. But master yourself is quite key, and you need to be aware. And if you've got this self-love, you've got this confidence, because when you are happy, you get this joy. When you are happy, you attract people who want to work with you. You change wherever the circumstances that you're in. You might, I think if you have seen when somebody is tense and not happy, when they enter the room with that sadness or that anger, it just translates into that room. It affects everyone. And when somebody's smiling, it becomes infectious. Even those who were sad will continue smiling. So ask yourself, in this world, how do you show up? Do you show up as your true, authentic self, or you're dedicating that to people? You're waiting for the world to tell you how to show up? So that's my key message for you guys on self-love. And also the other one is, as we end, is just to build relationships. What I've learned, I think this year, what he has taught me with COVID and the challenges, how we need to connect with our siblings. What I've realized with my siblings, they don't know much about me, and the world knows so much about me. So it's to start to have those conversations with them, sharing them the struggles that you have been through. Because at times when you're achieving these things, they just think it's so easy. They don't know the journey that you have gone through. As much as I thrive to empower other people, I realize I haven't done that, educated them on the journey that I've been, the struggles I've been, which have made them so effortless. So wherever you are, when you have those gatherings with your families, share your journey so that they can learn, so that we don't do the same mistakes. So that, because normally siblings, they look up to you and they just think everything is so rosy. And when they are not succeeding like you, they just feel like life is not fair. So it's about sharing those so that you empower them and say you can do it. As much as you're trying to show that you've been jack of all trades, but you're just sharing and empowering. So I'll say those are the key lessons that I've learned this year for myself, which I wanted to share. Let's connect. And COVID has shown us that with COVID, we don't spend time, we cannot travel like we used to. You think like you can travel, then there's new rules coming, you cannot do this. So in those short times that you have, just connect with your loved ones, say the things that you wanted to say, and yeah, and just create community and be there and be physical. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. Okay, I see also there's a comment from Sharon, totally women we are really need to show up, if not for the nation, then for our own children. Unless we take positions, our own children to stand to be faced with their long-time lack and devastation. The little we can do is fight for a better tomorrow for our own children. I'm not sure if there's any questions from any of you, from everyone who's on Zoom or on Facebook. And I see there's Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for tuning in on Facebook. And if you are on YouTube or Facebook when you're listening to this, please type what were your key takeaways. And if you've got questions for us, also type. I know Sis Prudence left, but she will be able to come back and respond to your questions if there was something that she mentioned that resonated with you. Any questions? There's none so far. So I trust the conversations have been interesting and you have learned so much. Yeah, I think there's something from Sheila. So we're just saying, I trust the conversations have sparked, has inspired, have empowered you, and everyone's story has planted a seed, has made you rethink. And the key themes have been, as I said, it's about starting, start where you are. Be consistent. Don't procrastinate. Let's live life as if we're gonna die tomorrow. That means we need to enjoy each day and make a difference. Know our purpose, love yourself, and start having those courageous discussions with your families. Let's change the moral fiber, because what is currently happening between our generation and I'll say the millennials, what we regard as common sense or how things used to be, they don't know that. So it's about, comes back to my share in terms of with my siblings, about sharing those journey, sharing where we are, and bring people, providing the context of why at times we do things differently, and they'll be able to add value in those discussions. And remember to create those conversations wherever you are. It doesn't end here. We're still gonna continue. I think it won't be as vigorous like we have done. I think this is the 22nd in this month, so it has been quite awesome, and we have featured women from all walks of life. And if there are guys who want to be featured, you're welcome. Please send me a message, we can have that conversation. But we appreciate the time that you've taken to listen to this conversation. So do share in your timelines and also comment on your key takeaways. I see there's a comment from Charity saying showing up, it is now has a new meaning for me, all about showing up physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So we really, yes, so we need to show up. Yeah, so true. See, there's Masiabe. Masiabe, welcome. I'm not sure if you've got any questions for us. Any other questions before we wrap up? Is there any question? Okay. So guys, it has been quite fantastic. Oh, I think there's a comment from Sharon. I'm listening. Okay. So it has been quite a journey. Thank you guys. Thank you and happy Women's Month, the last day, but it doesn't mean we have to end here. Let's show up wherever we are. Let's own up where the government, because we cannot wait for the government to do things and change the status quo. It's up to us. And it comes back to also what Nondu said earlier in the other conversations of the killings which are happening, the sadness and what is happening. It starts with us in our families, bringing that creating, making sure we live those values, explain to our kids, and also share where we come from as a society. And so that they are aware they've got that knowledge and that history when they make those decisions. So the power is in our hands. It's up to us wherever we are to make the difference. And we cannot wait for the government, or we cannot wait for someone else, because it's up to us. And even each human being, when it comes to self-love, no one can love you except yourself. And if we know God, as I said, we will know how much we are loved. You'll all be able to appreciate everything, even nature that is surrounding us. Because when we are troubled and we don't know who we are, we don't even appreciate the birds, the butterflies that are flying, the birds singing, the trees growing, and the trees grow through different seasons. Have you ever asked yourself, how do they still nourish? They die, they go through summer, winter, autumn, which we all go through as human beings. And during your time of winter and autumn, so what are you doing differently? What are you learning? And tomorrow is spring. As spring starts tomorrow, what are you bringing to the spring? Is it still the autumn of your life, or is it something different? So ask yourself that. Yeah. Thank you. That's it from me. So do check out on my timeline. I'll share the other conversations that we'll have. As I said, they won't be as vigorous as this one, so there might be one a week. But we'll still continue creating those conversations. And if you want to be part of WAY, let me know. I'll add you in the group. We'll also be discussing those 10 elements that we are planning to do. WAY is Women Emancipation. Thank you, guys.